Inu lechaim. Great, that's fine. Maybe a little bit faster.
Not. There, it's on. Now it's on. It was not until now. I just turned it on. I got it.
Yeah, great.
I was just trying to turn the
Do you
page.
think? Do you need it? Do you want to close the piano or is it open? Is it open is better?
Yeah, I'm just getting all the piano. I can't really hear any singing. So I'll just move back. So you want me to close it? No, I'll just move back and then.
Is that all right?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Because I think I was just getting piano. But I'll just come back here.
Uh, Yihiyu leratzon imrefi. Yihiyu leratzon imrefi. Ilefanecha Adonai tzuri vegoali Adonai tzuri vegoali. May the words of the mouth and the meditations, a little faster, of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Yehiyu leratzon imrefi. Great, and then we end. Yeah, it's fine. Again, a little faster.
Great, nice. I wouldn't be surprised if my daughter comes running in at some point with a babysitter. Do they usually come up, the kids, to the service? Do they usually bring them up at some point? Yeah, I mean, she's downstairs. Yeah, do they bring them up to listen at any point? Okay, good. She's having fun. I was like, do you want to stay with me or the kids? She's like, the kids. I'm like, okay. Bye. See you later. Totally not. Not at all. Was there food downstairs? I have no idea. Well, then there probably is, but I don't know. I just heard there's an One. Right. It's something like 4. Not dinner? Are you going to go downstairs to look for the 7 minutes? Okay. Yeah, I might if there's any water, though, I'd love some. Rabbi Gerlos. Not Rabbi Gerlos. I'm Ellie. I am. We've already done one. We're one again. A reunion. Exciting. Working together. Yay. We're gonna put it work for. You want is yours in here? Okay. They went downstairs and I told them to hurry up. She's gonna do the intro from but we can start singing here. But we can start down there and then we'll come back up. Is there a prayer book on that?
Why? Be careful of your talit. So you've done weddings before? coming on Sunday? Sunday, 4 p.m. This Sunday. Oh, your daughter's here.
Mine?
What? Oh my God. Michelle.
Yeah, you get to sit right there.
Yeah.
All right.
I saw them blowing up. I figured.
Thank you. Is it okay, Lex? Read this one.
Hine ma tovu manayim sheberachim gam yachad. 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 Hine ma tovu manayim sheberachim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom. So good to see you people. So I'm a little jet lagged, and I'm thinking about distance and sort of like how you can be in one reality and then go into a metal tube and be in another reality. And also what you take with you as you travel from one place to another. If you walk on the streets of Jerusalem, you see things that Jews have taken from all over the world. You hear different accents and see different colors of skin and styles of dress and music and food and rituals. We Jews get around. Chabad in every corner of the globe. And we're about to celebrate Pesach when we'll talk about, just taking the feast and putting it on our backs. So maybe I've spent too much time in the air, but I'm actually thinking about Jewish astronauts. It was a random conversation in Tumultual Shom, a cafe that everyone should go to. Anyway, so a few Jewish astronauts. Yuri Gagarin, maybe I'm pronouncing it right, Gagarin, first Jewish man in space. He flew into orbit aboard the Soviet spaceship Vostok 1. Excellent. In 1961. Didn't tell anyone he was Jewish.
Then there was Boris Volyanov, 68, commander of the Soyuz 5. Wonder if they took anything Jewish with them. Judy Resnick was the first American Jewish astronaut to go into space on the maiden voyage of the Space Shuttle Discovery in '84, and then on the Challenger. And before her first journey into space, she consulted a rabbi about Shabbat candles. Of course, an open flame was not exactly encouraged in such an oxygen-rich atmosphere. She was advised to use electric lights. Jeffrey Hoffman, an American Jew, was the first person to ever bring a Torah into orbit, 96, Space Shuttle Columbia. And another Jewish astronaut, David Wolf, journeyed to space during Hanukkah. No menorah, but he did take advantage of the zero gravity factor when spinning his dreidel. He said, I probably have the record dreidel spin. It went about an hour and a half until I lost it. It was later found in an air filter. I figure it went about 25,000 miles, he said. Gary Reisman was the first Jewish astronaut to live on the International Space Station. He left right before Passover and asked if he could bring matzah with him. But alas, Mission Control thought the crumbs would be uncontainable. I love that. So we travel, we Jews, and we take what we can. The first gift I ever gave to Mayor was travel candlesticks for Shabbat. They look like a little yo-yo that you could take apart. A yo-yo? Yeah, exactly. So we take it with us, but I actually think, as I think about these astronauts and my own journeys back and forth, it's not really about the weight of the object or the crumbliness or the spin, but the energy, the spark, a decision, a commitment to take it, and also to have a home base and to return. And so to kindle the Sabbath lights tonight, I really want to invite Cantor Lappin and Rabbi Mulbaum, because it is their incredible work that has enabled me to go out into orbit and to be in very oxygen-rich environments and to see things. And it's their spark and their incredible capability and inspiration, all of that comes behind it, that has enabled Mayor and I to do this. So would you guys kindle the lights? Thanks for keeping the home fires burning.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel
L'chu Neranena can be found on page 12.
L'chu neranena, yai lai 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 lai, l'Adonai, yai lai 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 lai, Nariya, yai lai 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 lai, l'tzor yisheinu, yai lai 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 lai. Let us sing out to God, the maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation nation from mountain to sea, hear our song. L'chu-ne-na-ne-na, yai-lai-lai-lai-lai, l'Adonai, yai-lai-lai-lai-lai, na'ariyah, yai-lai-lai-lai-lai, l'tzor yishaynu, yai-lai-lai-lai-lai. For all of the wonder in all of God's light, we rejoice. So now let us listen with all of our hearts to hear God's voice. L'chu-ne-na-ne-na, yai-lai-lai-lai-lai, l'Adonai, yai-lai-lai-lai-lai, l'tzor yishaynu, yai-lai-lai-lai-lai, l'or yishaynu, yai-lai-lai-lai-lai.
We welcome the Sabbath bride with Lachado D on pages 20 and 21, and together we'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
L'chado di likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shmo echad. L'shem ultiferet v'litchila, l'chado di likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. L'chado di likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelha, ki makor habracha merosh mikadem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila, l'chado di likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. L'chado di likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orech, kuni ori, uri, uri, shir daberi. Kevod Adonai alaich nigla, l'chado di likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. L'chado di likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. We greet Shabbat with verse 9. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. הללויה, 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 הללויה.
We arrive at a moment in our service where we get to be very, very welcoming. So first, we, of course, want to welcome back Rabbi Tara Feldman to our bima. 3 months without you. We're glad you're back.
Wow.
A big welcome back moment. We want to welcome all of our FaceTime families. You can't hear me? You're right next to me. We're going to welcome our FaceTime families who are here. We're so glad to have all of you here. We hope you're enjoying services sitting next to your loved ones. And now we'll wave at anyone watching on live stream. Shabbat Shalom to you. And now turn to the people around you. Wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Introduce yourself. Ask how their week was. Shabbat She's not sure what to do. Okay, well, that's what we're doing. And if you cannot do it, we turn in our prayer books to page 24, where we will welcome our Shabbat angels singing Shalom Aleichem, page 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
So we're about to rise for the Baruch Hu, not yet. And then after that, we will offer this prayer, Ma'ariv Aravim, which speaks about all these amazing planets and the cycles of time, day and night. God, you, Ma'ariv Aravim, you bring on the night, we'll say. So we're about to acknowledge not only nature, but time. And actually, this is Shabbat HaChodesh. This is Rosh Chodesh. The new month of Nisan begins tomorrow. So if you haven't started freaking out about your Seder, start doing it now. So in this ruminations about travel and time, I'm thinking, you have this experience on planes sometime. We took off at 5 a.m. from Ben Gurion, and it was like multiple hours later, everyone started popping up around me and putting on the tefillin, and I'm thinking, what morning is it? Because I think it's already like noon. How do they know what time it is? How do they know that it's time for the morning prayers? I was also really commending their discipline. But on this idea of time, for those that are coming late, I'm sort of working on a space travel theme. For some reason I'm not entirely sure about. But I'm going to offer a true story now about Ilan Ramon, that Israeli astronaut, who was in a time-related quandary. While not a particularly religious Jew when he was standing on Earth, Ramon felt that as the first Israeli astronaut, it was really important that he eat kosher food when he was in space. Definitely the first astronaut to make such a request. And he also wanted to observe Shabbat. He said, quote, "My mother is a Holocaust survivor who was in Auschwitz, and not so long ago my father fought for the independence of Israel. I'm kind of the proof from my parents and their generation that whatever we've been fighting for in this last century is becoming true. I feel I'm representing the Jewish people." But Shabbat presented a challenging time question. The day and night cycle in orbit is 90 minutes long, which means that a week lasts only 10 and a half hours. So would Ilan need to keep Shabbat every half a day? So the case was really, it was put before some of the world's leading rabbinic authorities, who ruled that he would keep Shabbat according to the time of the place of his departure, Cape Canaveral. So I'm thinking it's interesting when we're counting Jewish time, wherever we are, hovering above the planet or elsewhere, we're really thinking about our points of departure, where we come from. Sacred time is really defined from the place we call home. And I have to say, it was hard to leave the family, but it is so wonderful to be back and see your faces. Just so wonderful. And the sirens, you know. So I define sacred time by the places I originate from. And boy, Mayor and I originate from here. So a few other thoughts. A few other things he took with him, besides whatever electric candles that he would light up at the right time. A miniature Torah given to him by Professor Yehoiachin Yosef, survivor of Bergen-Belsen, and also a barbed wire mezuzah, also made by a Holocaust survivor. Lastly, he carried with him on board a drawing called Moon Landscape. It was sketched by 16-year-old Peter Gintz, who died in Auschwitz in 1944. He drew it when he was in Theresienstadt. And it was a picture of how he imagined Earth would look if he was standing on the moon. I think there's no accident in that there have been so many Jewish astronauts. Because no matter our hardships, we've always tried to see the world from a new perspective, from a different perspective, no matter where we stand, to maintain that capacity to dream and to reach. And so I just really want to extend my gratitude not only to my wonderful clergy colleagues, but to all of you for affording me the space to move beyond, to travel, to float in a different experience, and to embrace the magic of new insights and dreams. We rise for the Baruch Hu. We're on page 28.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Ba'ed Le'olam Ba'ed Ya la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la.
We pray together in the English on page 30. Blessed are you,
Adonai, our God,
ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other.
Adonai Tzevaot is your name.
Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
El Chai v'Kayam, Tamidim lo chaleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamahari v'Ravim.
Page 32.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Havta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu B'shochbeinu u'v'kumeinu Nasiach b'chukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated as we continue together on page 36.
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר
אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיהם. אמת.
Vichamocha can be found on page 40.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh nohra tehilot osef eleh nohra tehilot osef eleh malchutecha ra'u banecha bokeyam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam zeli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Yai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai.
On page 42, we'll offer our prayer for peace, Hashkivenu, where we pray to feel God's presence, to feel God's shelter, the shelter of God's wings. And we know that so often it is we, humanity, who are the ones who make God's presence felt here on earth. So we turn to page 42 and we pray together for peace.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom V'hamidenu shomreinu Shomreinu lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom V'hamidenu shomreinu Shomreinu lechaim Ufros aleinu Sukat shlomecha Ufros aleinu Sukat shlomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom V'hamidenu shomreinu Shomreinu lechaim.
Continue on the top of page 44.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת ביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפל. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
We rise now for the Amidah. We're on page 46.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tohovim ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chazdei Avot ve'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות מלך ממית ומחיי ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים וקדושים בכל יום יהללו חסלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש, האל הקדוש.
We continue privately through page 62 of our prayer books. You may remain standing or be seated according to your custom.
לרצון נמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Yehiyu leratzon imrechi ve'egyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri ve'gohali Adonai tzuri ve'gohali.
We come to the point in our service where we think of those in our families and our communities who are in need of healing. And if you are thinking of someone tonight in need of healing, spiritual healing, physical healing, we invite you to share their names aloud as we come down the aisle.
We continue with the singing of Mishaberach, found on page 253 in the middle. Please join with us. Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
favorite Jewish thinkers is Rabbi Abraham Isaac Kook. He was the first chief rabbi of Palestine before it was even a state. He lived from 1865 to 1935. And really, he's one of the most celebrated and influential rabbis of the 20th century. And he has all these sort of sayings, teachings, terse and beautiful. And we're going to offer one now in song. It can be found, and I'm going to sort of frame my words tonight around Rabbi Cook's words. It's in your insert. Ben Adam.
Ben Adam, ale mala ale mala Ben Adam, ale mala Ben Adam, ale mala Ben Adam, ale mala ki koach oz becha יש בך כנפי רוח, יש בך כנפי רוח, כנפי נשרים אדירים, אל תכחש בם, פן יכחשו לך, דרוש אותם דרוש בן אדם, וימצאו
So we're going to return to that chorus, and I'm going to need your help, so don't put it down. So this opening verse, Ben Adam ale lemala ale, ki koach oz lecha. O human being, rise up. You have great strength. One of my major takeaways from my time in Israel are these moments of seeing great rising up, great strength that really defines logic. One goofy example from our congregational tour, we're all standing there, and there's this tiny little road in Old Jaffa, really small, before cars were parked on either side of it. And there is this massive tour bus. You know, you've seen them, they're everywhere. And the guy is coming down the road. And we're like, you can't do this. And we watched, and within the course of, I don't know what it was, 10 minutes, the bus went through. And everyone's cheering, and it wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened. Or another moment, actually with you, Beth, we're in this bouncing Jeep in the Golan Heights, and we're going up this hill, and you can see sort of the wreckage of, I don't know if they're old tanks or some form of artillery, and there's the collapsed Syrian outposts. And our guide sets the scene, and he's talking about the Yom Kippur War when, with no warning at all, on a fast day, when we were all feeling strong, unannounced, were attacked from every side. The Syrians, he said up here, they had 1,500 tanks. And Israel, 160. Syria, 1,000 artillery pieces. Israel, 60. And we're bouncing up over these rocks, and he's saying, yeah, and right here, this is where the guys, they were creeping up right under the nose of the Syrians, and then they came behind them and got them from either side. And we got it back. Syrian fatalities in the Golan, 2,500. Israel's 115. Shouldn't have happened. Or I'm standing with Daniela in Kibbutz Ein Gedi. She grew up in Beverly Hills, but felt kind of empty there and went for the kibbutz life, much to her parents' chagrin. And she wanted to teach about child rearing, but no one would have her on these kibbutzim, so she became a dishwasher for multiple years, and then they stuck her there down in the wadi, right below the Dead Sea, or just right above it. Nothing there. Nothing. Rocks and sky. Not a fan. Not a refrigerator. Not a tractor. Not a car. Nothing. They were all about 21. They didn't know about planting. And then we're standing just above where they decided finally they farmed down there. They grew things, and then they started to have kids. They wanted to be in a place that was more fortified. They moved up onto this sort of high rise above this wadi, and I'm standing with her in a botanical garden that became a kibbutz, visited by dignitaries all over the world, where she raised her 8 kids. It's paradise from rock. And as the last part of the tour, we walk over, and there's it's kind of a particularly messy part of the kibbutz. She tells me it's where they take in troubled youth, and they spend some time there and go away with more direction. And there's a little makeshift, I'll call it a cemetery, and I'll call it a gravestone that says, Po nichbar, here are buried, here are interred, et hamilim, the words, ani lo yachol, I can't do it. So that's what one of these youth buried there. And just the other day, right before leaving, I was down in Givat Mordechai, this neighborhood, and I saw this statue. I've seen it before, but I had forgotten about it. It extends up into the heavens, and it's a stairway. It's called Sulam Yaakov. It's not connected to anything. It's just this cement that goes up with stairs, but they actually angle the stairs down so no one will actually walk up it. And again, this image of rising up beyond logic and not asking for permission, just doing it. Join with me.
Ben Adam, Alel Malale, Alel Malale, Ben Adam, Alel Malale, Ben Adam, Alel Malale, Alel Malale, Ben Adam, Alel Malale.
And the next verse, Yesh lecha kanfei ruach. You have wings of spirit, wings of mighty eagles. In Pesach, we'll soon be taught this idea that we were carried, born out of Egypt on eagle's wings. So where do we get the strength to rise up, to do what seems impossible? I think one thing that I noticed a lot in my time in Israel is the way people carry each other. One of Gabi's friends is one of his more best-looking friends, super cool Israeli guy. I go to shake his hand at Shabbat, and he shakes my hand, and then he takes his own hand and he kisses his palm. I'm a middle-aged, but he does that to everybody. It's like, gotcha, so glad to meet you. Listen, I don't want to generalize. I know Israel is many, many things. But what I saw, I think, particularly in watching my children in school, is this profound sense of mutual responsibility and holding each other up. Gabi told me a few weeks ago that they stopped school for 2 days and all they did was learn about earthquakes, for a long time. PowerPoints and this and that, because, frankly, Jerusalem is due for one. But it wasn't like a study about, theoretically what will happen. It was, when an earthquake happens, here are the 3 ways a building can fall. And when it does, this is how you put on a tourniquet. And this is how you can get someone on a stretcher. And on and on. And basically, these kids were being told, when a disaster happens, get busy. We need you. Powerful. Powerful. sometimes it looks a little scary. I see I think the kid was 8, and he's walking to school in his Purim costume, holding his 4-year-old sister. I don't know where their home is, but he's being really responsible. He's got her, and he's taken her to school. And she had her little bobbly antennas. She was a bee. Just a week ago, I did not run the Jerusalem Marathon. I ran the 5K. But it's this massive experience, the Jerusalem Marathon. And I was kind of dreading it. It's huge crowds. You've got to go on buses. It was freezing. Adina was going to be whining. But we did it. And I was high for 2 days. And it wasn't because I was running with the fast marathoners, and there were those. But I was running with the man with these braces on his legs, and he was running. And I was running behind the people that had these T-shirts. They were running in memory of so-and-so. Or running behind these frum ladies with the head covering and the skirts in support of victims of terror. Or there was this one guy that totally captured my heart. He was a boy with Down syndrome, and the back of his shirt said, "Be beautiful." And he had his family on either side, and they were going along. I was running with my friend Marnie, who hadn't trained so much, and she was flagging at the very end. And this one child with special needs took her hand. He said, "I'm not giving up on you. I'm running at your pace. I'm going to go with you." And they went. And then at the end, it was just this joyous explosion. And Gan Sachar, Zumba and drum circles. 30,000 people registered for this. Maybe there were 40,000 people there. And I'm thinking, oh, Boston, terror. Just joy. And this idea that whether you're a triathlete or a schleppy Jew, we're getting through this thing. Really powerful. So where do we get this ability to rise up? It's from the way we hold on to each other.
Ben Adam, Alel Malale, Alel Malale, Ben Adam, Alel Malale, Ben Adam, Alel Malale, Alel Malale, Ben Adam, Alel Malale.
So Rav Kook teaches you have these wings, but don't forget them. Al techachesh bam. If you forget you have wings, your wings are going to forget you. And I did witness forgetfulness. Forgetting the mission of our nation, of our homeland, to be that light, to welcome in those who are in need. When we marched on behalf of immigrants who will be sent back to their death in Africa, and holding these signs as we walked back, as I said in my little missive to the congregation, it was the first time Adina had heard someone call her father some pretty colorful names. They're all criminals and racists. They're not strangers. They don't qualify. Or when I ran into someone who had literally, when he was trying to bring a Torah onto the plaza of the Kotel in support of Women of the Wall, he was literally walked on. He was injured. He was trampled. Or I promised myself I wasn't going to go to the settlements, but one of my best friends lived there, and I decided the friendship went out, and I went. But, we're driving, and it was place after place. She's like, yeah, that pile of stones, that's where the last pigua was, a stabbing. Or, we didn't have a car. I took hundreds of cabs, a third of them with Muslim drivers. And I want to do that. And then I'm wondering, when I see the name on my Get Taxi, do I cancel it? Will it be all right? Adina did Kids for Peace. Every other week she met with Palestinian kids and talked to them at the YMCA. But is it enough? There were a lot of highs, and there is a lot a lot of work to do.
Ben Adam Ala lemala Ale lemala Ben Adam Ale lemala
Sing, it'll wake you up.
Ben Adam Ala lemala Ben Adam
Last one. Cook says, Drosh otam, look for those wings, seek them out, and as soon as you look for those wings, you're going to find them. I was looking all the time, and I found them in unexpected places. IKEA. We had to get furniture. In order that our marriage survive, we hired out someone to build the furniture. And it was a long day. There were a number of pieces, like it was hours, with Hebrew directions. Can you imagine? And it was these two Muslim gentlemen, lovely, in my apartment forever. And, the afternoon gets late, and one of them goes out onto our balcony and prostrates himself. I'm thinking, gosh, even an IKEA moment, you can pause to pray. And we offered them dinner, and we talked about Ramadan, and it's very interesting. He said, the thing about Ramadan is that the hunger makes everyone the same. Everyone feels the same hunger. And whatever, they went on their way, and I sent them with an extra pizza. A holy moment. And we finally got a dishwasher the day before I left. And the guy came. It was a cheap dishwasher. He put it in, and I sort of came right at the very end when he was installing it, and he announces, he says, your husband is a very good man. And then he said, you should wake up every day and say, Moda Ani, and one should always speak good things. And he went on in a very brief sermonette, and then he said, have a kosher and joyous Passover, and left. And I realized I had been blessed by my dishwasher installing man. Seek them. Seek the wings. This was my favorite moment. So I become almost slightly anti-Semitic in these long lines in the grocery store, because it is insane, and it's inefficient, and so I'm almost there. It's been 40 minutes just because I wanted to get Gavi a mohawk wig for Purim, which he didn't wear, and I'm ready. And then there's this French guy, he's like, no payas, but seriously Orthodox, black and white and whatever. And it's very long for him to pay for this. He's getting some subsidy, and it takes like 10 minutes. The cashier looks very secular to me. He's a guy, he's wearing a pink hat for Purim. And it goes on. And then at the end, the cashier gets up and stands across from this Orthodox man that he has just done this translation, puts his hands on his head, and gives him like an extended 90-second bracha. And the French guy is like crying, like he's totally verklempt. And I don't understand why this is. Maybe he's a Kohen and you do this on Purim. I have no idea. But you can get a blessing in a long line at the grocery store. Seek those wings, says Rav Kook, and you will find them in a flash. So I ask in this season of freedom to just maybe take one of these messages. I know it was rambling. Maybe it was about strength, or about connection and mutual support, about remembering, about embracing your wings. And choose a question. Is there a dream you have not stepped toward? Maybe something you've told yourself is impossible. Is there someone you can rely on, or someone that you can sustain in a new way? Is there tikkun that needs to be done, wings you have forgotten? Can you affirm the life of your spirit? Now is the time to rise. Together, one last time.
Ben Adam, alele malale, alele malale, Ben Adam, alele malale, Ben Adam, alele malale, alele malale, Ben Adam, alele malale, ki koach hoz becha, יש בך כנפי רוח, יש בך כנפי רוח, כנפי נשרים אדירים, אל תכחש בם, פן יכחשו לך, דרוש אותם דרוש בן אדם, וימצאו מיד. בן אדם, עלה למעלה, עלה למעלה, בן אדם, עלה למעלה, בן אדם, עלה
We rise now, keeping with the theme, Aleinu 282.
לאדון כחול, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו שפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, ומור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We arrive now at a moment of memory, and if I read the name of your loved one aloud, I invite you to rise and remain standing. This week we mark the period of Shiva, the first 7 days after the passing of Barry Bernstein. And we're in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days for Jean Warner Bear, Robert Louis Lester, Ethel Schneeweiss Perlman, Ann Sims, and Brian Jeffrey Smith. And this Shabbat we commemorate the yahrzeits of Ilsa Bauer, Howard Cooper, I. Edward Garrick, Alex Glasser, Robert Goldman, Aline Helfer, Rebecca Levine, Ida Cohen, William Howard Meyer, Stanley Oken, Elaine Pakhtar, Stanley Rubin, Abram Rosen, Sighard Rosenheck, Ava Rothberg, Claire Louise Siegel, and Annette Zitron. Are there any other names anyone's remembering this evening for Kaddish?
Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be for a blessing. We turn to page 294, and I invite you to rise if it is your custom for Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'b'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'b'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemed kudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to the world. And together we say, Amen. Please be seated, unless you are Ron, in which case, come grace the bima with your presence.
Hello, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Well, it's really lovely to see this incredibly full room. We have a gaggle of temple presidents here this evening, the Limmer, Shelley and Steve, and Frank and Leslie Abrams, and I see Nina Koppelman and Marsh Cursius. I know how much this place has meant to you and how much you've always given here, so it's always a thrill when you're all together in the room with us. A big thanks to Gary Slobin, who's doing the ushering duties this evening, and a thanks to Elaine Springer, who is the toddler whisperer. She's beautiful. What's her name? Ara. Hey, Ara. How you doing? And a big thanks to our musicians as well, Gal Gershevsky, Shai Kedmi, and Rebecca Cherry. Indeed, having the violin always makes me feel particularly Yiddish. I don't know. It has a very Yiddish feel to it. Thank you to Cantor Lappin and Rabbi Mulbaum, not only for this evening, but for your entire time here, but especially these 3 months, which have been, very meaningful to all of us, and I think meaningful to you as well, as you took the spiritual leadership. And a huge welcome back to Rabbi Tara. So it's great to see you. 3 months is a long time, but it's not that long. You don't look that different. The hair's a little different, but it's really great to have you back and leading with us, and your reflections are really great. And I'm going to remember about the blessing when I'm on that incredibly long line in the kosher Dunkin' Donuts on Sunday morning. And hopefully I will be getting a blessing there as well, as I wait 2 hours for my iced coffee. My remarks this evening are inspired by our wonderful Cantor Lappin, who last evening led the Brotherhood Seder with incredible grace and inspiration, and with a great story as he took us around the world about Jewish customs. And in particular, one really stuck out in my mind. So it's one thing to feel like you're part of a small minority, which we as Jews have always felt in the diaspora. It's another altogether different to be that minority, all by yourself. So the first question that Zebulon Sementov asks guests when he meets them for the first time is, are you Jewish? And there is invariably a tinge of disappointment when the reply comes back negative. But the last and only Jew in Afghanistan doesn't miss a beat. Humanity is one, religion doesn't matter, he says. Muslim friends often enter his kosher kebab restaurant, unfurl a prayer rug, and bow towards Mecca. On the nearby tables, an open box of Manischewitz matzah sit empty, and whiskey bottles along with them. Locals refer to Simantov in his early 50s simply as the Jew. Born in the western city of Herat, he wears a kippah, and he wears the traditional loose pajama-like shalwar garments known throughout Afghanistan. The only other Jew in Afghanistan, Yitzhak Levin, you referred to him last night, died in 2005. The pair had lived together in a shabby synagogue on Flower Street throughout the Soviet invasion, throughout the Civil War, and through the fundamentalist Islamic Taliban government. But they grew to hate each other. They held separate services, had vicious shouting matches that the neighbors could hear for blocks away, and when a valuable Torah scroll went missing, each blamed the other. They also denounced each other to the Taliban as spies for Israel's Mossad intelligence agency, prompting Taliban police to beat them with rifle butts and jail them on occasion. Simintov says the fight broke out nearly a decade earlier when Jewish elders told him to take Levin, more than 10 years his senior, to Israel. Levin would not budge, and each man accused the other of wanting to sell the synagogue for a profit. Simintov is the legal owner and plans to refurbish the 50-year-old building. The feud was so intense that Afghan police suspected Simintov of murdering Levin when he died, until a post-mortem examination proved that he had died from diabetes. Simintov now lives alone in a crumbling 2-story building with a wrought iron fence emblazoned with the Star of David. And even though no one comes to worship these days, Simintov says he prays daily and he keeps kosher. Since there are no trained individuals in slaughtering animals by kosher rules, the rabbi of Tashkent, Uzbekistan, has given Simintov the authority to do so. Now, this was not always the case in Afghanistan. Jewish tradition traces back to the Assyrians in 720 BC and to Babylonia in 560 BC. In fact, just a couple of years ago, they found in a cave dig in Afghanistan Jewish remnants, proving that the community there had thrived at least 1,000 years ago. The area was a major hub for Jewish trade routes in Central Asia and Africa, and Jewish merchants were considered to be among the business elite. They lived in the separate quarter, now gone for generations. By the late 19th century, the Jewish community in Afghanistan reached as much as 40,000. Persian Jews arrived to avoid forced conversions in neighboring Iran, responsible largely for the population. Hebrew was spoken in synagogue and religious studies, but most spoke the nation's local languages. By the mid-20th century, only about 5,000 Jews remained. Most emigrated to Israel after its creation in 1948. And after the Soviet invasion in Afghanistan, there were only some 20 Jewish families remaining in Kabul. All of those had moved away, mostly to Israel. Oddly enough, Simintov says he preferred the communist government and even the Taliban to the current government, which he calls a mafia regime. They had taken away his successful antique and carpet dealing business, confiscating all his goods worth over $50,000 on what he calls bogus grounds, leaving him with nothing but the synagogue. He gets by, he says, with donations from Jewish groups abroad and sympathetic Muslim families. His wife and daughter left for Israel years ago, but he has no plans to join them anytime soon. He is concerned that the property dispute with Levin's son, who lives in Israel, may force him to sell the property, which he believes has high value. Go to Israel, he says. What business do I have there? Nothing, and I don't speak Hebrew anyway. Why should I leave? Anyway, this is my home, and in every community there will always be a last one. I guess that's me. I'm the last Jedi. Announcements tonight. And Tara, interestingly enough, you had Jews that go all over the world and even into space, and you have some that never leave. Never leave at all. So a couple of important announcements this evening. Torah study tomorrow at 9:15. Who's leading Torah study tomorrow? Rabbi Tara's back. And 10:30 Shabbat morning service, correct? Tara as well. Sunday, March 18th at 10:30 a.m., the Jewish Yoga School Spring Workshop with Sharon and Genya Taub. Learn what Jewish wisdom says about the health of our body and mind and soul. At 4 p.m., Vlad, the Chamber Music Series. You want to mention anything about Chamber Music Series? Everybody come at 4 p.m. for the Chamber Music Series. Thursday at 10:30 a.m., March 22nd, Rabbi Tara will have more reflections on her time in Israel, which should be great. At 6 p.m., the Saul Kessler Interfaith Brotherhood Seder in the Social Hall. Saturday, March 24th, March for Our Lives. On March 24th, students and families from all over America will take to the streets in support of March for Our Lives. There's going to be a local rally here in Great Neck. This is not a political event in the traditional sense. This is sponsored by the Great Neck Democratic Club. This is sponsored by the Great Neck Republican Committee and Club. This is an opportunity to show your support for safety in our schools and for our kids. Saturday, March 24th at 3 to 4:30 p.m., rain or shine, in Jonathan Ilielpi Park on Grace Avenue and Park Place. Have I missed any announcements, dear clergy? I have not. So to everyone, Shabbat Shalom, as this and Pesach to come, and have a great weekend.
For our concluding song, you should have a little song sheet on the other side of the Hebrew. And we're going to go the Ladino route, not the Yiddish route. So raise your hand if you speak Ladino. Oh, we've got one. Raise your hand if you speak Spanish. There you go. You might recognize some words. So please join us. This is a song that comes from Bosnia. This song is written by Flori Jagoda, and she is an incredible musician who was born in the 1920s in Bosnia. This is a song that her grandmother sang to her at the end of Purim, right before Passover began, in this wonderful, sweet period where we are getting ready for Passover, and Purim is behind us, my favorite time of the year. Join with us in this very, very special song as we get ready for Passover. Purim, Purim, Purim lano, Pesach, Pesach a la mano, las masas están faziendo, los yipraquistas cociendo. Aman, 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 el Dios bendicho nos da mazal. Aman, 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 el Dios bendicho nos da mazal. Purim, Purim, Purim lano, Pesach, Pesach a la mano, la nonna está diciendo a los cielos, a limpia el polvo, cantones y los techos. Aman, 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 dicho, dicho da mazal. Aman, 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 el Dios bendicho nos da mazal. Purim, Purim, Purim lano, Pesach, Pesach a la mano, il Signor rubbidisce a las tías, no comer il pan, 8 días. Aman, 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 el Dios bendicho nos da mazal. Aman, 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 el Dios bendicho nos da mazal. Shabbat Shalom.
Join us for Kiddush and Motzi at our Oneg downstairs. Shabbat Shalom.
on 13th she's talking about.
Thank you so much. That was so great.
Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. Do you know we're related?
No, you're not.
Yes, we are. Yes. Her Uncle Mark married my cousin Abby. I was going to say, when I said to my mom,